everyone. I'm excited to welcome Chai of Google to the stage. Chai is a product executive in data analytics, leading all data governance, integration, security, and compliance. He has more than a couple decades of experience in databases and data analytics. We've had the privilege of working with Chai and the broader Google Cloud team over the past few years. They've been a source of inspiration for us as we've gotten behind-the-scenes access into the incredible innovation they're delivering with Google Cloud. Very excited to have Chai join us and share what he and his team have been focused on, specifically how they're enabling customers to have success with AI. Chai, take it away.
Thank you, Murray. Welcome, everyone, and I'm so excited to be here. So today, we are going to talk about how Google is helping, our customers along with CData to unlock the Gen AI insights using the world's best analytics platform, BigQuery. So if you go and look at what has happened in the past decade is Gen AI has captured the world's imagination. Everybody is actually leading with Gen AI and asking questions. The organizations are really excited about it, but obviously it comes with some of the caveats and challenges when we are actually talking about Gen AI. Gen AI is still heuristic models, they are not deterministic models, and getting accurate business results to actually look at your customers, look at your top line, bottom line is not easy. So what is happening is to actually fuel AI, you need data. You need business data. And that's where the real value lies in. And without this business data, you can't really unlock AI. So you typically enterprises, when they ask questions about either demand forecasting or trying to figure out customer sentiment or analyzing any of the anything related to your patient outcomes, it's not it has to be combined with your real business transactional data that is logged away. And I think one of the key things that we talk about is we have built an amazing platform called BigQuery. And then how do we bring in this data into BigQuery is a key thing that we are looking at. Now, we have done some research at Google, and we've been actually talking to a lot of customers. And we know that 85%, 84% of the organizations will actually expedite their generative AI, and they believe that generative AI is going to help them get new insights. So this is like 85% of the organizations, and 66% of these organizations, they know that more than 50% of their data is in dark. So they don't know what data they have in their enterprise. Is it valuable? There are a lot of multiple copies of the data. And typically, when you actually talk about any analytics project, it takes about 8 months to get to fruition, because first is finding this data and then bringing this data into the platform that you want to generate your insights, and then actually processing the data, right? So the biggest thing that is happening is AI is nothing without data, and then you need both. So the lines between the both data and AI have started to blur, right? So it's not just when you say AI doesn't live in its own world. When we talk about the machine learning or any of the deep learning techniques that we have, everything is based on the data. Now, if you don't have the right data to train these AI models, what you are going to get is it's almost like garbage in, garbage out. So that's not going to help your cause. And I think many of the organizations understand that these lines are blurring, and data is the key to actually enable these insights or activate these insights through generative AI. Now, we know that building data platforms is extremely hard. It has been happening for more than 50 years. We have seen changes and evolution in data platform. And you don't have customers cannot build these siloed data platforms, one for structured, one for multimodal data, one for images, and you can't do that anymore. You need to have a single data platform that actually can do it. But most of the enterprises say their existing data platform do not meet the needs, right? And even though everybody wants to actually experiment and use Gen AI and everything, truly there are only 5% of the companies that have actually implemented Gen AI applications at scale. And this is purely because you need to have the right data platform to be able to actually activate or use generative AI or this new AI to help your organization to answer the right questions. So what we have is a platform that was built from ground up. So this is not a platform that we thought that, oh, we one day we decided that we are going to build a data analytics platform. But this came from Google's core innovation. When we started looking at scale problems, and when we have more than 10 products which have more than billion users on each of these products, and more than 5 products that have 2 billion users, when we actually have to look at how to serve these customers better, we need to think from the ground up. We cannot think from top down because the scale is important, the resiliency of the platform is important, the ensuring that the platform evolves to the customer needs is very important. So BigQuery was not conceived as a single database like typically what other data platforms are. It was actually built from the ground up, where it comprises of multiple layers of amazing innovation that Google has done over decades of research, which includes our cluster management system, which includes our Dremel, which is our high scale query processing engine. We have our own shuffle tier, which is and a network that we actually innovated. It's called Jupyter. All of these things come together to provide the world's best platform. And this platform is a unified platform for all of our AI needs. And what it does is activating AI becomes very easy within the platform, and it actually serves multiple personas and multiple users. And then there is always on business intelligence, which means you're not actually going to another tool and running the reports and figuring out what is happening, what is my top line, what is my bottom line, who are my top 10 customers, but you can ask questions and interact with the platform. And that's where BigQuery becomes unique. And the reason why BigQuery is very, very unique is first is there is deep integration for data to AI. So one of the challenges that you see with data platforms is how do you bring in AI? You will have a bunch of machine learning models that you might have that you have developed within your enterprise, or you might want to actually take machine learning models from other places. So we have this whole set of models that are available on Model Garden, on Vertex AI Foundation, where you can actually say, I want to use some of the models that I want to bring in to actually get more insights. And this is right from the ground up. So there is infrastructure that we are running on, which is actually tuned for AI workloads. And then you can actually use multiple engines that can actually power your insights. So you can use SQL, you can use Spark, you can use Flink, you can use any of these engines that are available to actually go through and process the data and to get insights. The other thing that we have done with the platform is we know that enterprise has multiple user personas. There is data engineers, there are data scientists, there are data stewards, there are SQL developers. All these personas are looking for something different. Now, what we wanted to do was you cannot have one single experience that allows every persona to actually go into that experience. So it's almost like if you are used to something, you want to you have a very specific task that you want to accomplish. The experience has to be catered to your needs. So we have actually built these experiences around big data platform where each of these user personas can come in and do their task efficiently. We have a centralized catalog. We talk about this. This is very, very important. When we get into AI, governance is the key foundation to ensure that your data is not going into exfiltrating. Your models are not exposing sensitive data. So in order to do this, you need to have a single catalog that drives this entire thing. So we have a single governance layer where your data is automatically, your metadata is already harvested. You have trust scores built on the data, lineage is calculated, we have model lineage that is available that allows you to actually discover your data sets, manage your data assets and AI assets at the same time, and then harmonize the engines. And then we have baked in intelligence. So there are multiple ways you can actually do Gen AI and AI workloads and everything. The way we have baked in intelligence is you can actually, as a user, the AI is assisting you to get to and finish your task. That's one way of looking at it. So it's AI powered platform where AI assists are already baked in. There are agents that are baked in. Now there are other things that you can do. Is it's also AI, powered and AI ready. And the way we service our customers is, if you want to get insights, we actually have capabilities that are actually using AI to generate those insights for you in natural language. So you can ask a question and then the system will provide an answer for you. And then finally, we have workload management and observability of all engines. So I think workload management is critical because price to performance is key, but most importantly, what you need to do is you need to ensure that you have a platform that can scale based on the data, because the data is growing exponentially. The veracity and the velocity and the variety of data is coming in at high speeds. And how do you handle this data? So BigQuery actually, because it's built on our infrastructure and it can scale to whatever workloads that you throw at the system, and then it can actually help you with any type of data, be it structured, unstructured, interaction data, image data, voice data, with unified governance, and enables you to run any workloads in any syntax, any language, whether it is SQL or Spark, and then providing a experience that is catered to your needs, is why BigQuery platform is so powerful. And I think I want to go back and again, say there are a lot of these formats that evolve over a period of time. In 2010, we have seen that Hive Metastore was big and everybody was using Hive tables and everything. But we have seen is there has been a evolution. We have Delta Lakes, we have Hootie, and now we have Iceberg. But I think one of the key things that we do is we actually can combine and take all these data, and because we can deal with multi-model data and it has enhanced open format, you can actually bring all this data and govern it and secure it, ensure that there are proper access control, role-based access control that are built into the system to actually start doing your insights. Now, when we go and talk about, I talked about the power of the platform. Once the data is in the platform, you can do so many things. You can actually call a machine learning model using SQL, or use your Spark notebooks, to actually process the data. There is so many things that you can do. But this is not going to happen without having a proper data integration strategy. Our data integration strategy is grounded in 4 pillars. One is, most importantly, is we want to meet the users where they are at. Like, if you look at organizations, bringing data into these data platforms is extremely complex. So what we have done is we have provided capabilities. If you're an ETL developer, you have an experience. If you're a data engineer or a data scientist, we have a data preparation experience. If you are just ingesting data at scale, we have another experience where you don't have to go through complexities. So we have made sure that we actually cater to a lot of different user personas when we are bringing in the data. The second is, when I say bridge the gap, the most important thing is, I talked about it earlier, is when you look at your analytics system, analytics system needs operational mission critical data, which is transactional data. Now, in order to bring in this transactional data, you need to find easy ways to bring in this transactional data. And this data sometimes has to be in real time. So we have capabilities around real-time streaming, change data capture technologies that we have made available that actually can bridge the gap between the operational transactional systems into your analytical systems. While we are doing this, we have ensured that there is governance baked in and governance at heart, so that we actually can ensure that whatever data assets that you bring in, you can be governed at scale. They can be data and AI assets, and you don't have to. And you typically, I think what happens is governance is an afterthought. But with AI, Gen AI, and evolution of Gen AI, what is happening is customers are worried. They're worried that, hey, am I going to violate any regulation? Or am I going to give away some information that should not be given away to somebody within the enterprise, across the enterprise, right? So I think we have baked in governance controls right in the platform, and then it's AI powered and AI ready. What I mean by that is we leverage Gemini within our platform to give you next best actions, to give you insights. Not only that, if you want to actually invoke some of these models, you can actually do it by yourself. So I want to go back and take a step back and I again talk about why CData is important, and how we have partnered with CData to actually solve some of these complex integration problems. Everybody knows that there are a lot of different delivery styles of data. There is ingestion of the data. There is you can transform the data. Either you use classic ETL techniques, or now customers have started using ELT. BigQuery is built for ELT workloads, where you can just bring in the data and then figure out the transformation. There is change data capture, which brings in real time change data from databases without being intrusive to the workloads that are running on your databases. There are streaming capabilities coming from messaging systems, and then just ingestion capabilities. Now, why we chose CData and why is CData important? The most important thing for us that has worked out is building these connectors is an extremely hard problem. I mean, I always talk about data platform at scale and processing and everything, but each of whenever you talk about an enterprise, a typical enterprise has about 80 different types of sources, right? And these sources can be your ERPs, your HR applications, your custom databases. They might be flat files. They might be Google Sheets. There might be so many other things. In order to bring in all this data, it's not easy. For each of the systems, the way you handle the system, you have to actually have very specific domain expertise. So if let's say, for example, if you are actually accessing data from Salesforce, you need to know the APIs of Salesforce. You are accessing data from SAP systems, you need to know what those SAP objects look like and what do they contain. So we have thought about it, and we wanted a partner who could actually help unlock this data. And then I think that's why I'm extremely happy to have this partnership with CData, where CData has helped us unlock all this data. And then what we have done is we have taken all these valuable connectors and are using and exposed it to our customers. So we have capabilities where within BigQuery, we have simple data ingestion that we have built out. So in simple data ingestion, you don't have to do anything. You have like 5 clicks and you say, I want to connect to this source system. I want to get Salesforce data, or database data, or whatever. And then you go through it, and you actually go through 5 clicks, and lo and behold, you're actually bringing in this data into BigQuery without having to do anything. And all this lineage, everything, governance is all managed by Google, and it's part of our catalog. But I think the most important thing is we have taken away the complexity of these source systems, how complex these are, and then we have made it easy. Then we also have, this is another place where we use CData connectors a lot. This is our ETL tool, where if you want to build complex visual-based pipelines, typically catering to ETL developers, where you want to do joining, it can be ETL, ELT. You actually can build this visual pipeline, and whenever you are actually bringing in the data, we actually leverage a lot of the connectors that are provided by CData. That makes it easy for customers to bring in the data and then transform the data and turn the normalized data into something like star schema or snowflake schema, where you can actually do reporting. And this is where I think again we have invested in the processing, we have invested in the metadata management, we have invested in cataloging, we have invested in a lot of AI capabilities. But without data, you cannot do much. And we also have added, I just wanted to give you a sneak peek into some of the things that we have launched, like Gemini in BigQuery. Once the data is in BigQuery, we have AI assisted data preparation. So this is all, the old way of doing data preparation was I was going to go and write these manual transformations and everything. Now what you can do is you can do visual wrangling, and you can say, hey, what, I'll tell you exactly what data type it is, what do you want to do, what semantic information that you need to capture from this field, and it'll automatically do it. And all the version control and everything is baked in. Now, this wouldn't have been possible if you didn't have the data. So once the data is in, you can actually do data preparation. The other thing that I also want to talk about is data insights. This is my last example that I want to share. Is one of the challenges everybody is solving the natural language to SQL problem, where you actually can type in something in natural language, and then it turns it into a SQL query, and then you can execute it. But we can do that. That's not like that is a very, for us, it's not a complex problem. The other problem that we solved is that once your data is there and you have been running queries, and your data engineers and SQL developers and business analysts have been running, these complex queries. What we can now do is that we can actually take those SQL queries and turn them into natural language queries. So which will tell you exactly, the biggest problem is that the cold start problem, when you have the data, you don't know exactly what do you want to do. So what this allows you to do is it actually can give you amazing ways through natural language to be able to query the system and find out insights. Again, I think this wouldn't have been possible. First is, A, it wouldn't have been possible if you don't have the next generation data platform, right? And in order to actually fuel the next generation data platform, which is BigQuery, you need data. You need all kinds of delivery styles of data, but the data is locked away in this complex enterprise applications and databases and a lot of legacy systems. And that's where I think we have found an amazing partner like CData to be able to unlock the data, bring in, and then get on your AI journey today. So with that, thank you again, CData and all the folks at CData, Amit and Manish and Banks. So we appreciate the partnership and look forward to an amazing future ahead.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chai, for sharing those insights and that great presentation today. And so just to cover a few questions, in your presentation, you talk about balancing the features between incorporating AI features into your product itself, like Gemini and BigQuery, but also trying to think about how you enable AI for your customers with the platform. So kind of with those two demands on your team, how do you balance the effort you put into each, and how do you think about approaching them?
That is a great question. I think on the Gemini, yeah, I think it becomes very easy to incorporate Gemini for us, because I think now what we have done is, I don't know if you have seen the quarterly results. I think our CEO was talking about 25% of the code is generated at Google. I think it has made our lives a lot more easy so that we can really focus on the problems. But I think the more importantly, whatever we do internally, if it doesn't help the customers, it's not it's not going to be fruitful for the customers. So one of the things that we have done, this was something that we have done before, is how do we make this easy for customers to leverage? So we actually prioritize customer needs over how we can actually optimize our own systems, and how do we deliver or expedite our process to deliver features. For example, if you want to call a machine learning model, you don't have to write complex language. We have something called BQML, which is SQL, embedded SQL, where you can call machine learning. So I think right now what we are trying to do is we know that this is getting disrupted. We want to be able to provide insights through natural language so that customers don't do anything. So we are actually leaning heavily to help our customers to solve their problems. And I think while we are doing it, we are going to constantly innovate and evolve the platform. That will be the forcing function for us to actually move faster. And that is forcing us to actually adopt and Gen AI within our platform. And how do we look at all the options, where we can leverage and expedite the process. So again, going back, customer needs are the topmost priority. Solving their problem, we know that it's going to actually help us anyway to make our platform better.
That's great. And, I'm sure the question that the audience wants to know is, looking forward, what's the thing you're working on now at Google that you're most excited about?
I think, excited and makes us nervous too, right? One of the things that we are saying is what's happening with the open formats, open engines and everything is that data, as it seems, can will not be sticky. What I mean by that is customers want choice of running different data platforms, different workloads and everything. But for us, the most important thing is with Gen AI, this is a completely a predictive, like heuristic model. And then you need answers in a deterministic way, but you want it in a secure and a governed fashion. So the most important investments that we are constantly thinking about is how do we ensure that your data is secure? When somebody asks a question, we are not giving away information that they should not be looking at. So that keeps me at night is how do we govern this data? Because this is not small amounts of data. We are talking about petabyte scale data that's being thrown at us. governing that at scale, ensuring that data is secure and it doesn't go and people cannot use the data in a wrong way or misuse the data is what we are working on. So ensuring governance and security as the foundation is the big thing that we are working on. The other thing that we are also working on is how do we make it easy to answer questions. Typically, anytime you want to actually answer a question about your top line, bottom line, or anything, you have to go into the system and get the access and say, okay, what do you do? Even if you have the right privileges, it takes you a lot of time. So we want to actually say that right from bringing in the data to actually consumption of the data, how do we make it so easy that it's at your fingertips and you ask a question and the system actually gives you an answer instead of trying to figure out, hey, you know what, where is the data? Like, I want to go and now ingest the data and everything. So those are like the two big investments we have made, and we are seeing great results. But again, security keeps me at night.
Great.
Keeps me awake at night. Sorry, not keeps me awake at night. Sorry.
We've all got something that keeps us awake. So thank you, Chai, for all the insights that you've shared today. We are thrilled to be a partner with Google BigQuery, and we appreciate your time and your presentation.
Thank you. Appreciate it a lot.